Welcome to the Resilience Reset today. Today we are going to be talking about Relentless, Go From Good to Great to Unstoppable by Tim S. Grover. I got a lot of things to say about what's in this book. Super excited to have you here with me. And I am not at home today. I'm actually at my friend Tracy Boland's house because we, along with a couple other friends, are going to the Luke Bryant concert tonight. My first concert since COVID. How awesome is that? I'm super excited. And except for the fact that it's 12 degrees outside, raining and windy, and it's an outdoor concert. But you know what? We'll be all right. It'll be worth it. It'll be fun. Okay, let's dive in. Let's talk about this book, Relentless. Now, for a little context, Tim Grover is there he is, little picture of him. He is the man who coaches athletes like Kobe Bryant when he was alive. I got to tell you, it was very surreal to read commentary from him and have him on the cover. I was like, oh, wow. Like, and just when he was telling some stories, you know, you write the book, you wouldn't expect that he would have had such a tragic end to his life. But then Michael Jordan is another one who he coaches. So some of his philosophies are very extreme for me. Like, there is a long way between what Michael Jordan is accomplishing in his life and what Alison Graham is looking to accomplish in her life. And so I think some of the principles within this book around mental toughness are just not a way that I think would lead to a happy life. And I'm more about having a happy life with the results. So how can we take what's in the book? How can we take some of the pieces of the puzzle and apply them to you and I being sort of more regular folks who are just trying to, you know, do a great job, really make an impact in our part of the world, and maybe be one day on the world stage. I mean, I'd love to be. And like I said, there's a long way between what I'm willing to do on a day-to-day basis and what Michael Jordan is willing to do on his day-to-day basis. But this guy is talking to the people who want to be the Michael Jordans of the world and the other superstar athletes. So that's the first thing about the book. You have to be prepared that there's some pretty harsh principles inside the book that maybe you might just have to figure out, how am I going to apply those to my own life? Now, relentless. Let's talk about what that means. Basically, actually, I'm sure I highlighted it in here somewhere because I thought that was a good place to start. His perspective is very much, it's like you want to be, be able to get through those last few drops of the mental barriers that will prevent you from being better. And he wants to go even further. But he says it's this. There's a cleaner is the cool people, like the ones who you turn to. They're in the zones, no limits on yourself. That's being relentless. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't bookmark it properly. I got questions in here, people. To be clear, one great performance or even a great season doesn't make you a cleaner. Okay? You're supposed to play well. That's your responsibility. It's the ability to repeat that result over and over, season after season, never satisfied. And see, like, this is the thing. The never satisfied thing for me is like, come on, people. How can we not, be satisfied and enjoy our life? Never letting up. That makes someone truly relentless. They can do the impossible. So there's a cooler, a closer, and a cleaner. Good, great, unstoppable. You can be whichever you want. If you want to be unstoppable, you've got to make the commitment. And so in sports, being relentless is measured by victories and trophies and championships and rings. In real life, being relentless is a state of mind that can give you the strength to achieve, to survive, to overcome, to be strong when others are not. So that I totally agree with, right? Like, and for me, I would say it's not relentless, it's about resilience. But, I teach the resilience mastery. That's what I talk about. But it's really a few things I want to talk about in today's call. Number one, the difference, what I believe, between mental toughness and mental discipline, and how I am more of the mental discipline flavor. And some of the trade-offs that he's saying are required in order to actually become a cleaner, okay, which is the unstoppable person. Now, he wrote this. This is a cleaner. You don't have to love the hard work. You just have to crave the end result. So one of the things that, if you remember, I'm reading these books. There are 25 books. I'm reading 35 books as part of my summer of reading. It's taking a little longer, but this is book number, whatever, like 10 on a list of 25 from Tom Bilyeu. And these are the 25 books he says will give you the absolute best mindset for business, for life, for success. And so a lot of it so far has been on the concept of growth mindset, meaning to have growth mindset, you need to be in love with the journey, aim for the result, but not hang your confidence and your attitude and your enjoyment of the process, right, on getting the actual result. It's like the growth mindset is the in-between, doing the work. That's where we focus. But so that's why I wrote here, isn't this a contradiction of growth mindset if we're only focused on the end results? Question. Greg, I totally missed your comment about having fun tonight. We totally will. Luke Bryant, here we come. And concert. Yeah. Like, and honestly, so based on this Tim Grover's philosophy, I don't think any of these people who he would coach would ever go like, I have a keynote in a week and I have one the next week and 3 the next week after that. I'm really excited about October, by the way. A lot of speaking, super excited. But like in his philosophy, I would never be going to a concert. I don't think. I mean, nobody got to have fun anywhere in this book. Nowhere, but that's okay. And I just don't want to live my life like that. He talks about this book doesn't tell you what to do, which is really cool. Why should anyone be told what to do? The whole point of this book is that in order to be successful, truly what you have to want in your life, you must stop waiting to be told what to do and how to do it. Isn't that interesting how we have to, he's saying, you got to make up your mind. So I believe that to be accurate. So let's talk. Oh, and at the end of this, I'm going to tell you something I'm about to do tomorrow. So I'm super excited. And this conversation around mental toughness, you may not believe that I don't believe in it. But so mental toughness, I used to really buy into it. But what happened is I started to get the feeling or the sensation that when you're tough on yourself mentally, that you are pushing yourself and there's like an to it, like an anger to it, a negative connotation, a negative vibe to it. And so if I needed a rest, if I wanted to take a break, I would beat myself up and say, you're being lazy. What is wrong with you? You need to keep going, forget the pain, power through. If you're going through hell, you've got to keep on going. And that's what I learned resilience was, right? Just keep on going. One day you're going to bounce back. No, you're not. And so, because bouncing back, we're never going back to the way things were, right? It doesn't exist. We're going to find peace, hopefully, in our new purpose, right? In our new reality. And so I was all about this mental toughness perspective. And unfortunately for me, and maybe not for others, it translated into basically beating myself up and hating myself. And so when people say mental toughness, I get really frustrated because my thinking is I want it to be mentally strong. And sometimes being mentally strong it can come from a place of kindness. It doesn't mean you let yourself off the hook. Mental discipline is knowing when to push yourself, when to look at what you're doing and knowing that maybe I am right now being lazy, but then having the mental capacity to sort of examine that and going, but am I in recovery mode and I need to be lazy? And this is actually a really good thing for my body or my physical, like my physical, my mental, my spiritual, whatever, is like, that's where I think mental toughness is, like, you're so focused on the goal and nothing else matters. And so I believe in mental discipline, which is more of the philosophy of, I'm not going to let myself get off easy. I'm going to push myself to do what needs to get done, even sometimes when I don't feel like doing it. And I'm going to not beat myself up if the better choice right now is to not chase the goal, but to go to a concert with some friends. Yeah. In order to have what you really want, you first must be who you really are. Sarah's saying, amen to mental discipline. Totally agree. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, because it's a difference, right? And yet we never talk about mental discipline. I don't know. Nobody ever is using that phrase. I wish they were. We can start it. In order to, as I was saying, in order to have what you really want, you must first be who you really are. And so this, I love when he's talking about, like, you have to know yourself. You have to know what your strengths are. You have to really step into the essence of you. And, you know, for a long time, I didn't do that. I don't know about you. Like, sometimes we would try to, you know, lots of people do this, right? Where you're trying to be something different, or, you know, what other people want you to be, or, oh, Allison, you talk too loudly. So then I try to talk softly, you talk too fast, and then I try to slow down, and it's not me. And so I think that's very true, because the comfort, when you can step into your full authenticity, when you can just be like confident in your own skin and recognize where you have your faults and where you shine, and lean into that's like, yeah, of course, because the worst thing would be to put on airs, create success within those manufactured imagery, and then have to live a life that isn't actually you. Lori's here. Hey, Lori, awesome to see you. Yes, mentally strong conveys to me a healthier goal versus mental toughness, which also for me resulted in being way too hard on myself and not paying attention or listening to my intuition and inner voice. Exactly. Yeah, thanks for that, Lori. And so we're on the same page. And so sometimes what I hope to do is even just offer a little bit of insight to put some common languaging around how are we feeling, what is, how can we look at these concepts that all these great big authors and best-selling books are sharing, you know, the books that Tom Bilyeu has recommended. So these are the good ones. How you doing? My friend Tracy's watching it live from right over there. I told her she could come on the camera.
I was thinking about it.
Do you want to come on?
Yeah.
Do you have ideas on what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Come.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to
Gotta go this way. All right, do you want a chair?
Sure.
All right.
So I think
And by the way, let me give you context about Tracy. Tracy is the successful managing partner. Are we calling you managing partner?
Mm-hmm.
Of Ontario West Insurance Brokers, and which is also my people, just for the record. And she's a very successful businesswoman. Can we tell them?
Yeah.
She just got elected as the national
Vice President of the Insurance Brokers Association of Canada. As of 3 hours ago.
So we knew this concert was either going to be like totally a celebration or a sad fest, but she won. Okay, what's your opinion?
So it was mental toughness is what he was talking
Yeah.
about. I think that sounds exhausting.
Exactly.
I think I was there once, and I broke down. You don't allow yourself any grace.
Yes.
Any time to regroup, refocus, rethought, pivot, whatever is needed, and breathe. So I agree with your mental discipline. I have goals, and I want to see these goals, and I want to make my way through the maze, but I also want to allow myself the grace to be able to say, you know what, I'm tired this week. I might be shutting my phone off at 8. I might not do the workout. I might, I need to listen to my body and to my mind.
Yeah. See, and you know what? Chime in the chat. Oh, look, you got all these congratulations. Look at this. Sarah's giving you congratulations. Greg's giving you congratulations.
Thank you.
Lori.
Thank you.
Yeah, like this is a huge deal. I'm really super proud and excited for my friend. Yay. And you know what? This burnout, and we talk about it in the industry, and especially in the insurance industry. Like if anybody who has friends in the insurance industry, like, you know, it's a tough go right now.
It is. It's hard to be on the front lines right now. It's tough times for everybody out there. And as most people know, the front line are taking the brunt of it. Yeah. So the office, the staff are exhausted.
Yeah. You know, and I think I actually wrote or put out a video, I think it was yesterday, about misplaced emotion. Did you see that one?
No.
Oh, well, they've had me speak for them, so she already knows this, but how misplaced emotion, you know, it ends up getting taken out on the front line. Like a lot of times, right? The person who screwed up your order, it's their fault that your insurance premium didn't go through, or you got canceled. And it's like, actually, it's your bank account, not mine. All right. So let's keep going in this book. The balance of never satisfied versus loving the moment. It says here, the cleaner is never, ever content. And I wrote, but then where's the balance of thing, right? Because if you're just relentless and going and going and going and going, like, how are you going to love the moment?
You have to sit in it.
Right. Like
good or bad, you have to sit in it.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, so often, you know, this mental toughness stuff, and I think this is maybe where when we're younger, we get some of these philosophies. And then as we burn out and we're totally stressed and we get a bit older, then we start to go, maybe that isn't the best way.
But I can understand it from an athlete's point of view.
Right.
And for a peak performance that is only going to be sustainable for the 8 years of your athletic peak performance, but not a life.
Right. Yeah. And he says, you know, he does give you a little bit of a release here. He says, you don't have to be relentless about everything. You don't have to be the best at everything. You can be unstoppable in your career and your relationships and you can't be the best at everything, because he's saying as a cleaner, you basically sacrifice everything else because you're so focused on the goal, and that's what makes you great. But I wrote in the thing, thank goodness. I don't want to have to be the best at everything. But anyway, all that matters is the end result, not the instant gratification along the way. Like, I'm all about the instant gratification, and you got to pepper it with the discipline, right? Like, it's got to be the in-between. But here's something we can all take out for our own lives. Thinking is what gets us into trouble. So when we have a goal and we're like, okay, I'm going to go on this. And then what happens is we end up with all these excuses that we manufacture in our brain. Right? You know what it's like, right? So we're going to, you know, we could talk ourselves out of doing something. And he's like, once you decide to do something, you just do it without the thinking. I thought that was really good advice. Yeah, that was good. Crave the results so intensely that the work is irrelevant.
It's harsh.
Yeah. Okay. People refuse to work out or control their diets because it's not comfortable for them. I get it. But how comfortable can it be to drag around all that extra weight and all the physical problems that go along with it? Back pain, joint issues, shortness of breath, diabetes, heart problems. I estimate 85% of all physical discomfort comes from being overweight. And, you know, I recently had to go on a medication. I've gained like quite a bit in the last 6 weeks. I don't know if you can tell. Can everybody tell? We can tell. Let's be honest. And so I highlighted that because it really resonated with me and was like, really felt frustrated. Anyway, I've made a decision on this.
Is it the announcement time?
Yeah, it is. Do you want me to do the announcement? Okay. So for those of you who have heard of 75 hard, have you heard of it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm doing it. I've already been doing it except without the diet part because the two work. So here's what it is. For 75 days, you have to work out twice a day. Once has to be outside. You have to drink 4 liters of water. So a gallon of water a day. That's really easy for me. I drink that probably anyway. I'm already done my 4 and I'm on to my 5th. So that's all right. You have to read 10 minutes a day of a self-help book, which, you know, for me is not a problem. I'll do that. That's okay. And you have to take a photo of yourself every day for progress. I take photos. I'm okay with that. But, you know, I feel like not all of them should be in my bra and underwear. I'm just saying. Okay.
Full body or just a selfie?
It's supposed to be the full body. And then you have to follow a diet. No cheating and no junk food. So that means 75 days. And if you miss a day, you have to start back at 1.
So this is
who's keeping track? Like the 15th book I've read this summer on mindset. So I'm like all in.
okay.
So, but here's how I'm doing this. First of all, my diet is not going to be extreme. I'm going to do no dairy because I don't think dairy is good for me. And I love it. So that's my big sacrifice, and just whole eating. So that's fine. Workouts can be anything from a walk to a swim to a boot camp to a whatever. And so this week, because we were going to the concert, I was not willing to give up alcohol. I wanted to go have a glass of wine and beers with my friends at a concert, first one since COVID. So I didn't track, but I did everything. So I've done the 2 workouts. For 6 days. Yeah. So, and all the other stuff. So that starts
now.
Okay. Oh, right. Because Kathy, our other friend's here. So anyway, so folks, I'm doing it. 75 hard. You can hold me accountable. That means it starts tomorrow and I go until December the 8th. Okay. So I'm going to do it on Instagram and TikTok. I won't do it on LinkedIn. Just sort of sharing and going through the journey and what it feels like to do all of this working out and pushing my body. Now, please remember, I am a pain patient. I have neuropathic pain. And so I am actually finding that the exercise is invigorating me more than it's discouraging me, but it is intensifying some of the pain. So we got to be aware of that, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a cleaner based on the Relentless book in this 75 hard. So stay tuned for that. That was my announcement for today. Okay. Stop thinking, stop waiting. You already know what to do. And like, when I read this kind of stuff, I'm like, yeah, this stuff I'm getting in, like no apologies. I wrote though, is this the right way? Oh, because he's talking about just a cleaner is so what they need to do that they can serve people to get the job done. And he says, don't make any apologies for it. And I'm like, is that really, really the way we want to live our lives? And for someone like me who really is into kindness and wants people to live a life where they just stop beating themselves up and just like love what you have in front of you. Like, we're so blessed if we're able to show up, to the Resilience Reset at 3:15 Eastern, Monday through Thursday, then you know what, or watch it in the replay and have LinkedIn or anything else. Like, we need to relish in that and be grateful. Yeah, if you're content to wait until the last minute, you are way too safe the rest of the time, taking it easy, coasting along in your comfort zone. And you know what? Part of the reason I want to do this, look at this, Sarah's saying I have the mental discipline to do it. Thank you. I believe I do, because I feel like I'm in the zone. But I want to do it because I want to test myself. I want to know, can I do 75 hard? Can I work out 150 times plus the 6 days? So that's going to be, it was a lot of working out in a row. But I remember in 2012 or 2015, I did 105 days of hot yoga. So I can do 75 days of hard work. Yeah. So anyway, the book is really good. I just say we got to pepper it with, not pepper it, like tone it down a little for our day to day. Unless you're going for that athletic, because my concern is mental toughness on its own is just going to send us right to burnout. And one of the things that's happening right now out in the world is people are so stressed and they're so burned out and they're feeling so out of control that they are not enjoying their lives. And I want people to learn to love their lives. Every swear word, I don't want to say it and make people feel, look at this, just absolutely going after each and every guy, pushing, demanding, challenging, abusing, finding every possible way to get under their skins and make them go harder. So he's talking, I think, about Michael Jordan in that situation. And that's how he showed up. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't want that to be my legacy. Like, all those people were like made to want to cry. And here we are watching him on the court and he's just relentless. You can't think, okay, so this is something though I totally believe in. Listen to this line, folks. You can't make things better until you stop making things worse. And this thing is where he's asking somebody a question. He's like, are you drinking? No. Not drinking? No. Because your body looks like you've been drinking. No. How often are you drinking? I'm not drinking. Don't even answer. I already know. You need a 30-day program. If you don't do it, your career is over. You don't want to do it, up to you, but you need it. You can't make things. So like you need to be able to admit when you're wrong, when you have a pattern. And like my work is all about like, how do we find the patterns that are keeping you small, that are holding you back? And after reading this book, I'm like, okay, well, is me not believing in mental toughness and having that anger that drives you, because he talks about like you need to have a dark side. And I'm like, hey folks, this is it, right? Like I truly genuinely just want people to be happier. And he's talking, you need to use that darkness in you, that Jekyll and Hyde, and have this asshole-ish tendency to really truly be elite in your field. I don't think we need it. I think there's got to be a better way. But I also have not become Michael Jordan level successful in the speaking industry yet. Anyway, I think that's it for today, folks. 3:45. Good book. It is. And if you're willing, if you're up for the challenge, go for it. If you're not, still really good information to pull. I'm noticing a theme that most of these books with mindset turn to sports. I'm so sick about, like, I'm not big on sports, right? Like I like playing sports. I'll sometimes watch sports, but it's not my bailiwick. And so I'm kind of sick of all the stories and the analogies on athletes. Love you, athletes. Way to go. Respect you. Most of us are not athletes. And so I was thinking about like, what are some of my qualities as a speaker? And I was laughing to myself. I'm like, you know what? You can bring me in to talk about resilience and I'll never use a sports analogy. Never once. I just won't. That's what you're going to get. So yay, because I think our lives are, sports when it's a point in time. Here's the game. We got 30 minutes or however long a sports game goes, right? Or here's the period, here's the quarter, here's whatever. And we got to perform for that. And we got to train all for performing in that. But our lives, we need to be able to train how we can show up in all aspects of our life, not with this intensity of anger and relentlessness and doing that, but like with a sense of peace and groundedness and joy and confidence and, feeling like, okay, you know what? I got this. I'm going to be okay no matter what the shit show is that's going on around me. So, you know what? One day, one of my books may make it onto Tim Bilyeu's list. You never know. Reading all these books, I'm like, we need some things that aren't sports related. But the one that I've started now is called Start With Why, which I read when it came out years and years ago. So I'm reading it all over again. And of course, it's an incredible book. And he uses lots of different business owners and greats as analogies. So that's wonderful. Oh, and Sarah's saying, don't agree with the dark side, right? Like, is it what we really need? Like the inner burning, and that'll be like the Start With Why piece, but the mentally disciplined, that's where I'm at. Yeah. So I'm going to be mentally disciplined with the, I think the hardest thing is going to be giving up ice cream. Yeah. But I'm going to do it. And I'll play the game. I'll share. Oh yeah, it'll be so fun. Son of my love. Yeah, I suspect we won't be talking. But if we do, actually, you never know. Maybe I'll get backstage in the rain. Maybe there'll be a big rain blowout and we'll all go somewhere and hang out and have beers or something. But anyway, it'll be good. Thank you for showing up, for being here, for being resilient each and every day. And I am going to say, until Monday, may you stress less, do more, and be happier. See you then. Bye.